What is up, and welcome to the Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silver's 2023 SEC football preview. As always, I am your host, Brandon Silvers. If you're watching on YouTube, we're doing these a team at a time to make the videos less husky and easier to watch. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you are getting the full preview all at once because you have a pause button. Now, you should subscribe to both video and audio by checking the show notes or searching Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers so that you don't miss anything, such as the video-only, most entertaining weekly college football pick'em show in the history of the world, Brett's Bets. Speaking of Brett's Bets, I am joined today by the man himself, Brett Gosnell, to help me break down these SEC teams. Brett, let's get into it. The LSU Tigers, 10-4, 6-2 in the SEC last year, beat Purdue in the Citrus Bowl. Brian Kelly's second year here, number 5 in the AP Top 25, bringing back a lot of guys from last year. Brett, what do you think they can do this year?
Yeah, so last year, started off a little slow, as you would expect with a new coach, but ended up in Atlanta. I mean, that's insane. So unmitigated success first year for Brian Kelly.
You hate to see it.
Yeah. And they bring back, obviously, their Heisman contending quarterback, Jayden Daniels, and they bring back both of their coordinators. So, and like you said, they bring back a lot overall. So everything looks good for them to have another good year. Starting off with the offense, Keyshawn Butte, who the receiver who was hyped up to all hell last year, then did absolutely fuck all. He's gone. So that's addition by subtraction. Malik Neighbors, the good receiver that actually played good. Hey, what's his? Ain't that his first name?
Yep.
He is back, so that's good. And they add Diggs, the running back from Notre Dame, who was Logan Diggs. South Carolina was in on him heavy, really needed him and wanted him, but obviously he went back home to Louisiana. So big get there to an already extremely good running back room. But the most important thing is Daniels comes back. He's number 2 in the Heisman odds this year. And, it's well deserving. He's an elite runner, like the best running quarterback in football the past 2 years, I would say. And he's a great short passer, great at getting the ball out, very accurate. So, yeah, I think everything's set up for this offense to have a very good year.
Yeah, Daniels last year, 2,900 yards passing, 17 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, and he led the team in rushing with almost 900 yards and 11 touchdowns. You mentioned how good he is with the short passes. He seems to lack confidence throwing deep, and he's not very aggressive. Do you think that could come back to haunt them in any way? Because I don't trust guys who don't sling it.
Yeah.
But that's my bias.
My guess is that he's probably fixed that this year. I mean, an offseason under Brian Kelly, it'll be his second year in the system. I think he might be certainly one of, if not the best overall quarterback in the country this year.
And you mentioned he's got Neighbors, and I know LSU has basically become wide receiver U, and yeah. Neighbors looks like the real deal. They got Jason Taylor's kid, Mason Taylor at tight end.
That's right.
He played a lot. He had the game-winning 2-point conversion catch against Bama. So offensively, they look pretty good.
Yeah, so looking at defense, they were good last year. They bring a bit back. Harold Perkins, most importantly, the linebacker, he's absolutely elite. For any of the spots that they aren't bringing back, they've recruited extremely well, as you would expect, and they have brought in a ton of transfers. So still early in the Brian Kelly era, you would expect him to rely heavily on the portal, and he's done so. So Yeah, good offense, good defense. I mean, and they were in Atlanta last year. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned the Vegas win total has them at 9.5. That feels right because, like, surely they can't be a national title contender yet. But going through this, I don't see really any holes.
No, and like they got to go to Bama this year, which is going to be tough. They open the season again against Florida State in Orlando. Yeah. That's who beat them last year when Mason Taylor actually missed a block on the game-tying extra point.
Okay.
So that's tough. But yeah, we talk about, are they a true national title contender? It doesn't feel like it, but then headed into last year, you wouldn't have said they were going to compete for the SEC title.
No. The main hole I can poke here is last year should have lost to Auburn. Double overtime against Bam. I mean, that could have went either way. Obviously, they deserve credit for that, but that could have absolutely been a loss. And then Arkansas, I think they barely beat Arkansas as well. So, like, the record could have been very different last year if a couple lucky breaks didn't go their way.
That's true, because I watched a lot of them, and they were one of the more inconsistent 10-win teams I think you'll see.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to get more consistent, but also there's something to be said for winning close games like that and being able to pull them out, especially your first year under a new head coach.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, they could go 8-4 or something this year and, like, maybe even be better than they were last year, just if things break differently, but they're on the right path, it looks like to me.
Yeah. And as much as I can't stand Brian Kelly, like, the man knows how to coach football.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I just hope not good enough to ever feel true joy or happiness. So if you're an LSU fan, sorry. All right. I think we covered all that.